In one way or another, every gamer has encountered some form of leaks or accidental sneak peeks. The most infamous leak in recent memory is undoubtedly the leaked footage of Rockstar's GTA 6 in late 2022, when a leaker released a total of 90 videos, showcasing 50 minutes of work-in-progress game footage. As expected, the news spread like wildfire, with fans eagerly consuming any information about the game after Rockstar had confirmed the development just a few months earlier. Publisher Take-Two swiftly responded by having the videos taken down, but as we all know, once something is on the internet, it's virtually impossible to completely remove it. When the easily accessible videos were finally taken offline, a large portion of the gaming community had already seen at least parts of the leak. This prompted a lengthy discussion about the potential consequences of leaks within the video game industry, a debate that resurfaces every time a new leak emerges. In today's video, we'll be discussing the impact of leaks in the video game industry and how they can potentially damage both the developers and the gaming community. My name is Chris, and this is Gamer's Delight. Leaked content has plagued the industry for years, affecting games like Fallout 4, Assassin's Creed Unity, Smash Bros., The Last of Us 2, Far Cry, and Cyberpunk. While the internet has made circulating leaked information, screenshots, and videos easier, even in the pre-internet era, information traveled fast. However, what has changed over time is the impact video game leaks have on the industry. As game development becomes more costly and time-consuming to produce, the consequences of leaks are more significant. From a developer's and publisher's perspective, video game leaks can be a nightmare. Leaks can lead to a multitude of adverse effects on the gaming industry, the developers, and the players. One of the most prominent negative impacts for players is the spoiling of storylines and gameplay elements. When crucial plot points, characters, and gameplay mechanics are leaked ahead of the official release, it can significantly dampen the excitement and anticipation for the game. For instance, when The Last of Us Part 2's story details were leaked, many fans were left disappointed and frustrated as the element of surprise was taken away from their experience. Moreover, it's important to remember that game development is a fluid process that can include dramatic changes of direction over time. However, once gamers jump to a conclusion based on leaked information, it is nigh on impossible that these pre-existing opinions can successfully be changed ahead of the release, even if the material is not representative of the final product. In addition to spoiling the gaming experience, leaks can also tarnish the reputation of both developers and publishers. When unfinished content is leaked, it often creates negative impressions of the game. People may form misconceptions and criticism based on incomplete information, leading to a decline in trust and credibility for the game creators. Another issue arising from leaks is the disruption of carefully planned marketing strategies. Developers and publishers invest a considerable amount of resources in creating effective promotional campaigns to generate hype and interest in their games. Leaks can force them to shift their strategies or reveal information much earlier than intended, potentially affecting sales and the game's overall success. When Fallout 4 script and casting documents were leaked, it led to the early revelation of the game's existence, which arguably disrupted Bethesda's original marketing plans. This in turn can easily cause a loss of faith from shareholders, which may lead to further reductions in budget or even the termination of any future plans. Legal consequences are also a significant concern when it comes to video game leaks. The leaking of confidential information, such as source code or copyrighted material, can result in legal battles and lawsuits, causing financial and reputational damage for those involved. The Half-Life 2 source code leak of 2003 is a prime example, as it led to an extensive investigation and the eventual arrest of the individual responsible for the leak. Then 21-year-old Axel Gembe managed to exploit vulnerabilities in Valve's internal network and gain access to servers storing in-development files for upcoming projects. He then shared the files with other individuals who leaked them to P2P sites. At that time, the team behind the game had been overwhelmed with the effort and were in desperate need for more time to work on the game, something, however, that Valve was yet to communicate publicly. When the game was leaked, it was not only embarrassing but financially threatening for the entire company. What followed was a time-consuming investigation that also involved the FBI and led to the arrest of Gembe in Germany. Lastly, the emotional toll of leaks on developers cannot be ignored. Developers dedicate countless hours, effort and passion into their projects, striving to create memorable experiences for players. When leaks occur, it can be incredibly disheartening and demoralizing for the developers, affecting their morale and motivation. Developers usually want gamers to see the final product in its intended state, with all its twists and turns and all the mechanics in a functioning state. In the case of Cyberpunk 2077, the early leaks and subsequent backlash put immense pressure on the development team, which was already working under challenging conditions. That being said, it would be naive to imagine that leaks are bound to have a purely negative impact on video games. If anything, video game leaks can draw up a massive amount of interest for a game that may not have received much attention at all if it hadn't been for that leaked information. This is only logical given that it incorporates the aura of the forbidden, the idea that we know that the publishers don't want us to see whatever has surfaced makes it much more enticing to have a look. In those cases, the publishers are not going to be upset about the unplanned attention if it happens in the correct context. Back in 2018, a Reddit user posted a secretly recorded gameplay video of an early version of what would later become Hogwarts Legacy. The fact that the footage was swiftly blocked by Warner Bros. Made the whole endeavor seem even more tempting. As such, leaks can also be seen as a starting point for a marketing advantage, as it puts the studios in a more favorable marketing position when the leak generates more attention than the direct competition may generate organically. The greater attention also has the potential to help gather early feedback to correct the game's course if necessary. Getting access to early feedback can turn out to be invaluable for developers and publishers alike, as it reveals whether or not to carry on with the current plans or whether corrections are necessary. Naturally, this process is not limited to leaks. Back when the first trailer for Battlefield 5 was released, the community was divided upon the idea of the game seemingly involving experimental gadgets and cosmetics, a reaction that led the developers to tweak the game's concept by tuning down the experimental aspects. Naturally, things are not as clear-cut as I talked about them here. I'm not here to tell you how to feel about video game leaks. I fully understand the excitement that comes with it, especially given that the wait times for news about certain games can feel like proper torture. But I do ask you to consider your position on leaks wisely. They can have a wide range of negative effects on the video game industry, spanning from spoiled gaming experience to legal and emotional consequences. As more details and examples show the potential damage leaks can cause, it becomes increasingly important for the industry to address this issue and for gamers to consider the impact of sharing and consuming leaked content. While the development cycles of video games become longer and longer, it's vital to consider how much information is revealed at which point. Oversharing through leaks can have damning effects, but so does drip-feeding the communities with too little information about what to expect. It's a difficult balancing act and one that can quickly cause massive consequences. While it's for the studios and marketing experts to figure out how to adapt, all we gamers can do is wait patiently. What's your opinion on this topic? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Until then, see you next time.